Manifest with Valorie, I believe, is the YouTube channel. So we're going to get that started. Give it just a moment to get caught up here. Get the recording going. I've also just recently, as of last Monday, started sending out, the recording is going, let's see, started sending out, perfect, a video recap of our Magical Monday manifestations. So if you ever missed the actual live, you should also get a follow-up by video that gives you the link to watch the Monday manifestation, a recap, and some additional information or thoughts you might to consider to help you further process the messages that come through on Mondays. So look for that email a little later on today as well. Hello, welcome. My name is Valorie Lewis. I'm a psychic medium, also a tarot reader, tarot and oracle cards. And today for Magical Monday Manifestation, we will start with a tarot spread. I pull tarot cards for the collective. All of these readings are for the collective. Whether you are here with me live or watching this on YouTube, just know that this message is reaching you when it needs to reach you. Then we move into oracle cards. And then after we've done tarot and oracle cards, I move into one card readings for the select few, a select few. Usually I have time to get to quite a few of you, 4 or 5 of you to give one card readings. So it just depends on how many show up as far as how many I get to give those readings to. And then we generally end today's event with a energy activation, which I don't know what we activate or what energy we're going to be calling in until we've pulled the cards and until Spirit tells us what direction we're going in for this week. So that's how today's event will run. I invite you to take a couple of deep breaths, settle in, set your intentions, send your questions, your askings out to the universe, and then release them. Release them like a cloud floating by, like a balloon, a helium balloon floating up into the ethers, into the sky. Just release them. Let them go gently and softly. And switch into receiving mode so that you can receive that which you are asking for. We cannot ask and receive at the same time because they are two different frequencies and vibrations. So let's ask, let it go, and then move into receiving. How can I receive the answers or the clarity that I seek? And once we settle into that receiving mode, I will start pulling cards. Ooh, one jumped out. Ooh, I'm excited to see what that jumper is. I will start pulling cards. The deck that we are using today is Light Seers Tarot. Some room here on my desk, which is covered with all number of magical things. I got essential oils and cards and crystals everywhere. Let me make some room. All right. Okay, Light Seers Tarot, and I've pulled 4 cards from the tarot. Oh, and one is a reversal. Reversals are significant. If this is your first time with me, you know that I don't shuffle my deck to allow for reversals, even though I read reversals. So when I get an actual card that's flipped upside down, that's Spirit saying, pay special attention to this. We flipped it for a reason. All right. Let me do this so you all can see the cards better. And I'll do this so I can see you all. Okay, first card for the day is the Ace of Wands. We're starting our week off with the Ace of Wands. Ace is a 1. It's a new start, a fresh beginning. Wands is fire energy, creativity, inspiration, personal power, action. Fire also indicates action. So Ace of Wands, a fresh new beginning. I like how this one is showing up with that third eye being ablaze. The third eye is where the fire is situated in this particular artist's depiction. Are those like nets? Is that a net? How are you all reading this part of the card? What does that look like to you? It kind of looks like maybe lanterns, but also looks like it could just be a net. Maybe those are little crystals trapped in the netting. I don't know. But let's focus on, I'm going to go to the book and see if it gives any insight. Let's focus on this being Wands energy, which is fire energy. And where is that fire showing up? Right in the third eye. What does that mean for you? What does that mean for the collective? It means you're going to have to apply sunscreen to your third eye. I don't know. No, it doesn't mean you're gonna set your forehead on fire, but it does mean that some kind of, when I think fire energy, I think activation. I think something being lit up, something being sparked, something ignited, and it's right there in your third eye. So there's something you've been asking for: clarity, direction, inspiration on, guidance, support, something you've been asking for, asking for, asking for. If I pulled this card as an answer, Spirit is saying, look to your connection, look to whatever that third eye signifies for you. That's where you're going to find your guidance, your support, your clarity, your next step forward. Maybe you've been looking externally, waiting for someone to call you, or waiting for an email to come, or waiting for some kind of external validation. Maybe you've been looking internally, but maybe you've been checking your heart center or seeing if your root chakra feels stable. Maybe you've been looking in all of these places and feeling like, it's kind of almost there, but I'm not feeling the answer I really need. Well, then this is the message that says, look here. Look to your spiritual connection. Look to your psychic connection. Let that be activated. Let that be the place that you look for that sense of inspiration and clarity and creativity. Ace of Wands. I am going to go to the book because I don't think it talks about what that is, that netting is, but let's just see. Here's the keywords: new ideas, the seed of potential, the arrival of inspiration, illumination, intense creativity, the mirror-like nature of consciousness. Ooh, the mirror-like nature of consciousness. The idea that this world reflects back to us that which is within. The interconnectedness of all things, the ability to manifest anything. The ability to manifest anything. All right. This ace contains all the sparks for all the ideas, and they are generating intensely powerful light for you right now. So maybe that's what that net is. All the sparks for all the ideas. She is connecting you with the one cosmic mind, a universal consciousness, and her delightfully magic suit that is brimming with colossal creativity. A flame burns here that is meant for you, but it hasn't been put to use yet. Oh, what will you create with this boundless potential? What will you create with this boundless potential? This week, it is your mission, should you choose to accept it, to stay open to receive inspiration and insight. You may be shown new information about your divine purpose or soul path, or you may even feel compelled to put something completely new into the world. If it feels good, it probably is good. And even though this ace can only predict the inception of something new, it also suggests that all of the energy to bring this project, idea, or feeling to a successful completion is also available to you. Here's the affirmation: I seed my brilliant future with the roots of creativity and inspiration. So it didn't speak specifically to what that is, but I'm going to see that as the sparks to all of the things, with the light being activated there in your third eye being that portal to inspiration, creativity. What's the word that I used to describe creativity? Where did it go? Colossal creativity. Colossal creativity this week. All right, so that's starting our week off, opening that up. Ace of Wands. Let's see what other messages come through from Spirit. I do feel like the Ace of Wands is going to be the theme. But our next card is the Queen of Pentacles. So we go right from Ace of Wands, connecting us, making us feel clarity and support, right into manifesting Pentacles, the Queen of Pentacles. You know, I always read her as a manifester, but let's see what other powers this lady holds. Queen of Pentacles. Pentacles for me is earth energy, is related to what is physically manifested in this world. What are we dealing with on a physical 3D basis? And when we pull a card from the suit of Pentacles, it tells us what angle or what perspective we might want to look at our manifested world. And Spirit right now is saying, I need you to sit on the throne and act like the queen. And the queen is different than the king. Both are sitting on the throne, that seat of mastery, divine mastery. But the queen is receiving mode. Look at how sublime and content and calm and peaceful she is. She's not working. She's receiving. She's allowing. She's content. Let's see what else she speaks of. She is a healer, a working parent, a self-made person, material wealth and abundance, strength in family and community, a kind and nurturing heart, groundedness, being down to earth, and generosity. Those are her key words. Self-made queen. This self-made queen reminds you to step into abundance by shifting any shadows you are holding on to around wealth and security. You are safe, and you are safe is italicized. I'm not going to read her full thing from this book, but I am going to read the affirmation. I enjoy my deeply connected life, and I lead it with an outpouring of warmth, abundance, and love. Now, when I say abundance, put this over in chat, if you please. When I say abundance, answer with one word. What's the first thing that comes to mind? I'm trying to see something. When I say abundance, what's the first thing that comes to mind when you think of abundance in your life? Let me clarify. When you think of abundance in your life, if I was to say manifest abundance, what does that mean to you? What are you going to manifest? Love. Ooh, interesting. Love, community, money. Money. Having more than I need. Ooh, I like that. Interesting. I like that because oftentimes Pentacles, I love these responses because these responses feel spiritual in nature. A lot of times manifesting abundance feels like I have to make something happen. And love is not something you make happen. Joy is not something you make happen. It's not really tangible, but it is still abundant. So when you think about that, think about where in my life am I already abundant? Where in my life am I already abundant? And really think about that. I'm not asking you to be positive. Just think about where in your life you are already abundant. Do you overthink a lot? Then you have an abundance of thoughts at all times. See, we're not talking about being positive. We're talking about just where is abundance showing up in your life. Do you have a whole bunch of bills? That's abundance. That's an abundance of bills. Do you have a huge family member and none of them get along and you don't have a lot of love, but you sure do have a bunch of cousins and second cousins? That's abundance. Didn't say it has to be positive. Just think about where in your life have you already manifested abundance? And can you take that focus, that energy, that manifestation of unread books? Can you take that focus and maybe direct some of that energy stream to something more pleasing in your life? Because you've already shown yourself that you can manifest abundance. You have manifested an abundance of unread books. Some of you have manifested an abundance of family members. I have manifested an abundance of bills. I'm working on it, y'all. I've also had the pleasure of manifesting an abundance of money. Sometimes those bills and that money put me right back at zero, but I've manifested it. So where have you already manifested abundance? Somebody's manifested an abundance of clutter. And how can I take the energy that I manifested there and direct it just gently, easily, not full on flipping 180 degrees, but just easily, maybe take 10% away from the clutter and manifest 10% of something you do want. Can we do that this week? Abundance, Queen of Pentacles. How can I allow more abundance through the channels that I actually want it through? Because I've already shown myself that I can allow abundance. Right now, I'm just allowing it through channels that maybe suit me and maybe don't. Can I allow it through the channels that I really want? Nine of Pentacles says you can. Nine of Pentacles. It's I'm almost there. Some of the seeds that I just planted have already grown, are already ready, are already ripe. I'm going to pick those off the vine. I'm going to pick those fruits that are ready for me to receive, and I'm not going to worry about the rest. I'm going to let the rest stay on the vine until it's ready. What are you ready to receive right now that does involve you going back to where you planted and reaping or harvesting or picking those fruits? So there is still a bit of action in this 3D world. But what is ready for you to receive right now that maybe you've bypassed because you're waiting for that big red one to get ready and you miss the fact that the little red one is ready? What is ready for you right now that you can receive? 9 of Pentacles. And then we get to the one that showed up in reversal. Knight of Cups is in reverse. This Rico Suave, Mr. Romance, Mr. Bombastic is standing on his head. In the upright position, the Knight of Cups represents action because all of the knights in the tarot are actionary. Cups represents maybe moving from a place of intuition or moving from a place of emotions. I'm feeling emotion. We just had a full moon. Maybe some of y'all's emotions spiked, and maybe you moved from a place of emotions that were not the best emotions. Maybe not the preferred emotional state, but you took action while in that emotional state. And maybe that's why he's flipped on his head. Not to say stop taking action, but to say, please use a little bit more discernment. Please be a little bit more self-aware and ask yourself, is this the state I want to take action from? Because upright would be go for it, move ahead. So when I pull this in reverse, I'm reading the reversal as hold on, pause before you take this action. So what this is asking us to observe is cups energy, intuition, emotions. Can you slow down just a bit and think about where am I at emotionally right now? And do I want to take action from this emotional state? Or do I want to wait until this emotion passes? Do I want to be active in choosing a different emotion and then act? Or is this emotion okay for me to take action from? It might be, but the card is in reversal to still ask you to pause and reflect on that first before you move into action. So that's the message of the Knight of Cups. Pause and reflect and ask yourself, is this the state, either emotional or intuitive, that I want to take action from? And then once you've become self-aware, you've figured it out, maybe you've journaled about it, meditated on it, maybe it was just a quick, easy answer for you, whatever that is, then take the action. I'm not feeling like Spirit is saying don't take action. I'm feeling like Spirit is saying slow down just a minute before you take that action that I still need you to take, because it is still a night. So we are still being called to action, but it's in reverse, so we can pause just a minute to make sure we're taking the aligned action that we intend to take. All right, let's see. Oh, we got some messages over there. I'm revving just a bit this morning, so I do need to pause and slow down. So perfect message. So that message is already being received by someone that it resonates with. Let me put these cards back in the deck here. I hope y'all remember the cards because I just shuffled them back in the deck. All right. Now we're going to move on to Oracle cards. As I move on to Oracle cards, I invite you, I haven't done this in a while, but I do invite you, we have a smaller group. If you have any pressing matters, anything on your mind that you came to this reading for, anything that you're seeking clarity on, if you could briefly put it over in chat, what questions that you're dealing with, and we'll see if we get any messages that seem to speak specifically to that, or if we just get general messages for the collective. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see where Spirit wants to go. Let's see. Spirit, what deck are we going to pull from? Wisdom of the Shadows is an oracle deck I have. Wisdom of the Shadow, singular. Let me tell you who this deck is by, because it's from an independent creator. Jessica Ricchetti, Ricchetti, is the one that wrote the meanings of the cards. And then Jenny Han, who is local to me, a Kansas City artist, is the one that did all the artwork for the Oracle cards. I believe maybe they collaborated on the meanings. I'm not sure on that part. Wisdom of the Shadow. What does Spirit want us to know about this? Oh, we got 2 cards instead of 1. Let's just do this one. Oh, grief. Well, that is quite the image. Grief. What does Spirit want us to know about grief? Grief. And the artwork is called Tears. That's from Jenny Han is the artist on that. Tears. The quote is, I honor grief as a sacred process. I allow it to move through me in its own way and time, end quote. The meaning of the card, or keywords, the keywords, grief flowing out, feeling it move its way through, flooding from the tips of the toes up to the shoulders, inside of the eyes, shadowy rememberings and the heavy weight of their darkness surround. The tears are pure, cleansing, healing, relief. And then here's the meaning of the card. Grief is a potent force that moves in and out, that moves in and through each being in unique ways. Stages, processes, or ways that it is said to be structured only paint a picture of possibility. Grief is like a mysterious umbrella. Under that umbrella lies an infinite possibility of emotion, unique to the moment. Anger, fear, loss, pain, loneliness, denial, guilt, numbness, or mourning what could have been. It is also a window into hope, resilience, strength, rebirth, curiosity, enduring, and adapting to change. Many ancient peoples honored grief as holy and sacred, knowing that the grieving one was moving through a necessary ceremonial experience for themselves, for the departed, and for the community. A griever is also said to be a conduit of the divine. Grief is like a storm. It can leave as quickly as it comes, or it can persist for days and weeks. It may contain thunder and darkness, thunder being that destructive force. So maybe even in your grief, it feels like even more is falling apart and more is being ripped asunder because of the thunder of the storm. It's like, man, I'm already in the storm and now you're striking me with the thunder. Sometimes it feels that way. But it may contain sun rays and secret rainbows. With the storm and the thunder, that brilliant flash where everything is dark, but then everything is light all at once. Sometimes thunder can be beautiful, and there can be rainbows and sun rays. If we chase the rainbows, we are less likely to find them. They appear only when and where and how they want, just like grief itself. We can grieve people, possibilities, paths, and parts of self. Think about any perceptions you hold around grief. Reflect on any ways you've wanted to push through grief or bypass grieving. Consider holding grief gently with compassion and tenderness. Invite yourself to see the grieving process as sacred. Can you see grief as sacred instead of something to be afraid of or something to avoid? That's the word I'm looking for. Have you been avoiding grief? Is this your call to sit with grief and see it as a sacred process, something that opens a doorway to hope instead of something that is just all darkness, something that has those brilliant flashes of lightning where everything is bright for a moment instead of just all darkness? Can you see grief as a portal or a doorway to something bigger? Is this grief that is calling me? Is there grief that is calling me to sit with it more fully? When I have grieved, did I grieve fully or did I stop myself? What can grief teach me about emotion and processing life? Ooh, that's interesting, given that card that we just had about emotions when it was stood on its head. Knight of Cups asks us to pause. And then this is also saying, Is there something I need to learn from this emotion? All right, so that is our card from that. Grief. Wisdom of the Shadow was that deck. Let me move this to the side. Well, it was called Wisdom of the Shadow, and it was a little dark and heavy, but I do feel like that was the message that we needed to deal with, because maybe we've been avoiding dark and heavy things, and maybe that has been the thing that has been holding us back on our path. We're like, be positive, be positive. I'm trying to be positive and move forward. And it's great, absolutely. But maybe Spirit is saying, but you've got this flat wheel. I see you trying to move forward, and I see you trying to work on the engine and the carburetor and change the oil and inflate the tires and clean your car out so that you have a nice, lovely vehicle to move down your path with. I see you. I see the shiny rhinestone steering wheel cover that you put on. I see the fuzzy dice in your mirror trying to remind you that fortune and favor and luck is all part of your path. I see you, but you got a flat tire. And I'm not saying to give up on the positivity. I'm saying maybe spend a little bit of time on that flat tire so that the whole vehicle can then move forward. So when we're asked to pause and look at some of these things that we don't want to look at, think of it like that. Think of all the work that you've put into this vehicle and how hard it's going to be to keep chugging along with the flat tire. Maybe it's time to just deal with the flat tire, replace it, air it up, service it, and then move forward. I feel like that's the message. And keep the fuzzy dice, and keep the rhinestone steering wheel cover, and keep the oil changes going. But at the same time, deal with the thing that is making your journey more difficult at this moment, which might be the flat tire, which might be grief. All right, let's see. What else, Spirit? Can we cheer this group up, Spirit? What else do we have? Spirit, what? Oh, the universe has your back. That deck is speaking to me. Ooh, there's a very heartfelt message over in the chat that I was just taking a moment to read. Someone expressing not sure where to go next, feeling lost. The question, what am I called to do and what are my next steps? Let's see. Ooh, let's see if Spirit can answer that in the next couple of card pulls. And I didn't get just one from the universe has my back. I got 3 cards, and these are just basically messages. You might think of them as affirmation. There is no guidebook, so we can get through 3 cards pretty easily. The first one is, oh, okay. I feel like this is an answer directly to whoever just posted that. I know who posted it, but it's on YouTube, so I'm trying not to call you out by name. I want to be open and clear vision of what I ought to be doing with my life, career, my calling. What am I called to do? And what are my next steps? I feel lost. The moment I realign with love, clear direction is presented to me. The moment I realign with love, clear direction is presented to me. That's great, Valorie. It sounds real spiritual and deep and shit and everything, but how the hell do I realign with love? I hear you. Spirit hears you, and then Spirit tells me what you're saying, what you're thinking. I know. How do I realign with love is the question. The message is beautiful. That's great. Feels like it answered me directly. When I said I'm lost, how do I find my way out? And this says, this is how you find your way out. Great. Thumbs up. But how do I do that thing? How do I realign with love? Where is love at in your life? Do you love anything? That's how you realign with it. Bam, done. Okay, that was easy. Okay, but you know it's a little bit more harder than that. So think about the things that you love. Conjure up that feeling of love within you and sit with that feeling of love. Is that easy and simple? Depends on where you are in your path, because it means not paying attention to everything that lies outside of it. It means a practice of realigning with love in a way that feels comfortable and doesn't feel like you're completing some homework assignment. So, can you do it for 5-10 minutes a day and just see how it feels until you build up a tolerance for it and then see where that takes you? Because Spirit says it's going to give you clear direction. If I was lost and Spirit said you have to jump through this hoop to find clear direction, I'm jumping through the fucking hoop. Especially when the hoop is find love. So think about the things in your life that you love and then amp that feeling up 5-10 minutes a day. And I'm not trying to tell you to be woo woo about it or spiritual about it. Think about the things you love. Do you love spaghetti? Do you love Italian food? Do you love beaches? Do you love the fact that you open your eyes and you have sight? Because some people don't. Do you love Zoom? Do you love technology? Do you love having a phone in your pocket? There's so many things that you can think about. Make a list if a list helps you, but there's so many things that you can think about that will realign you with the energy of love, period. Realign with love, and then a clear direction will be presented to you. All right, the next card, I have to turn it this way so I can read it. It's kind of long. I am kind and loving towards others while creating clear boundaries that protect my good feeling emotion. I am kind and loving towards others while creating clear boundaries that protect my good feeling emotions. If I have sat for 5 or 10 minutes making a list of all of the billions of things that I love and feeling that love surge back into my heart center and reminding myself of all the things that I love, and then somebody comes along to remind me of the things that I don't love. Maybe it's the person I don't love that comes along to remind me of how much I don't love them. Or maybe it's something else. Maybe it's just life in general, something on the news or something I hear on the radio that reminds me of some contrast in my existence. How can I remain loving and kind and create a clear boundary, a bubble, if you will, that protects my alignment with love? Maybe I don't listen to the news. Maybe for a couple of days, I don't turn the radio on unless it's tuned to songs only. And I know all of the songs are positive lyrics. Maybe for a while, I don't answer the phone when that person calls. That always pisses me off. Even if that person is my boss or a bill collector. Maybe I just say, hey, my phone was out of commission for a couple of days, or I needed a break. Maybe for just a while I am focusing on realigning with love, which was the first message, I do everything I can that I know how to do to create a bubble of boundaries, which does not allow anything that will detract from my good feeling emotions. Just for a while. Just for a while. This is like, I haven't even looked down to read this card, y'all, until just now, and I only read the first couple of lines, and I cannot make this shit up. I cannot make this shit up. We started with realign with love, and the last card that we pulled is my capacity to tune into the energy of love. Like, what the fuck? I can't make this shit up. Let me read the whole thing. My capacity to tune into the energy of love gives me the words I need when I'm ready to speak up, the compassion I need when it's time to forgive, and the power I need when I am lost. And somebody just started a sentence saying, I feel lost. I feel like this message is for you, but I also feel like this message is for everybody in this group today. And these are just affirmation cards. There's no guidebook. This is Spirit talking to us, giving me some additional food for thought. realign with love to give me clear direction, and my capacity to tune into the energy of love. So that's very key, because maybe you only have capacity to tune into the energy of love at 10%. Maybe that's just where you are. Don't discount that. Don't give up because you're not at 11 or 12 or 50 or 100%. Cherish that as sacred. I have 10% capacity to tune into love, which means that gives me 10% of the words I need when I'm ready to speak up, 10% of the compassion I need when I'm ready to forgive, and 10% more power than I had when I woke up this morning, the power I need when I'm lost. So honor wherever you are, whatever capacity you have, and work with what you have right now, because that's going to bring you closer to what you're asking for. The flip side of that is saying, I'm at 10%, fuck this, I give up. Well, you just wasted 10%. And I know, because a lot of times that's what we feel like doing and that's what we say. But this is the universe saying to you, work with what you got and work with where you're at, and more will be given. Clarity, next steps, path forward will be given. All right, let's see. Cosmic Journey Oracle. I don't think I've pulled from this deck for a while. Cosmic Journey Oracle. Let's see. Spirit, what other messages do you have for the collective? One more time. Spirit, what other messages do you have for the collective, especially about our journey? All right, that was a clear one. Let's see. Card number 28. I ask, what messages do you have about our journey? And we got, thus one journeys to the stars. Thus one journeys to the stars. Sitatar Ud. I can't tell from the font. I think it's Ud, U-D, Astra. I know Astra is stars. I know that. I know a little bit of Latin. 28. Thus one journeys to the stars. Oh, sick. Okay, that's why I couldn't read it. Okay, so it's the font, but the book spells it out. Sic itur ad astra is a Latin phrase meaning thus one journeys to the stars. What got you here is not the same thing as what you'll need to evolve into a pure light body, merging back into source. As you've climbed up the mountain of your mission here, you continue chipping away at the good, or even the really good, to uncover your truest expression of divine destiny. Are you serving the collective in your own unique way, a way that also fully serves you? Ooh. Are you serving the collective in your own unique way? Many of us are called to do that. If you're not, that's cool. But if you are you doing it in a way that also, what's the completion of that sentence? That also serves you? No. That also fully serves you. There's a question. The time has come for you to put your full heart, soul, and spirit behind your work. Your greatest purpose is filled with joy, happiness, and, here's that word again, love expressed through your contributions to the universe. Here's the cosmic catalyst, which is a question you can ask yourself. How can I put my full heart, soul, and spirit into my greatest work? What would this change, and what would remain the same? And then here's the cosmic checkbox, which is usually like an activity or something we can use to help integrate this message. Schedule one conversation with a good enough relationship in your life to share what is now acceptable and not acceptable anymore to you. Interesting. Schedule one conversation with a quote, good enough, end quote, relationship in your life to share what is now acceptable and not acceptable anymore to you. I'm just going to leave that statement there because I'm not sure I fully understand how or why I would want to talk to someone who is just good enough. I'm not sure what that would bring me, but it is the activity, a conversation with someone who is good enough and share with them what is acceptable and not acceptable. Thus one journeys to the stars. So it's the pathway to the stars. The pathway to the stars is using your full heart, soul, and spirit and applying that to whatever you feel like your work is here on this planet at this time. All right. Oh, I think let's go to this. Let's go with this one. Faces of Ocean Oracle. I never know if I'm pronouncing that right. I need to look up the pronunciation. Ocean or Ocean? Ocean. I think it's Ocean. All right, Spirit, what do we need to know in this moment? What would best support us? Turning the card over, and we get Ocean's Voice Chakra, card number 32, authenticity, individuality, and self-expression. Look at that lovely lady. Authenticity, originality, I think was the other word, and self-expression. She is, okay, first of all, she's got one too many hands, but she is a goddess. One of her hands is painting, maybe, and one is writing. That looks like a bunch of gold dripping, but colors, one painting, one writing. And then that one just kind of uplifted, lots of jewelry, lots of color, that radiant sun behind her. I love all of the colors. Let's see what the book says about this one. 32. Voice chakra. I am unapologetically me, and I express myself authentically and freely. Own your voice. This is the initiation of laughter. I like that. Initiation of laughter. Own your voice. Speak up. Express yourself. No more holding back. Authenticity invites authenticity. When you are true to yourself, you create the space for deeper emotional connections. Whether it's through talking to someone, writing in a journal, or engaging in artistic pursuits, find your avenue of expression. What to do now? Oshun's voice chakra encourages you to speak your truth, sing your song, and dance to your own rhythm. Your voice is your passport to freedom, and it's time you use it. Whether through words, art, song, or any other medium, you are encouraged to let your true self be seen and heard. She represents the liberating and healing powers of authentic self-expression. Your personal and unique voice matters, and the world becomes a richer place when you contribute your individual perspective and flair. In the sacred verses known as Odu, Oshun goes to war using just a gourd, G-O-U-R-D, and using just a gourd and her melodious voice to change the course of events. Oshun's calabash, which is the gourd, symbolizes life, femininity, and abundance, there's that word again, while her song and laughter embody the essence of her divine power. I was trying to see if there was a gourd in this one. There's another hand. I just found another hand. There's another hand over to the side, and it's holding an open book. Her melody has the capacity to heal, inspire, and transform. I'm going to say that your melody, your voice, whatever that may be, also has the capacity to heal, inspire, and transform. And maybe the healing, inspiring, and transforming is meant to be for yourself at this time. That's a message I just got from the divine. I feel like that was a message for me personally. Like I use my voice a lot and I'm using it right now in a public setting for the collective, but I'm also hearing that message of maybe use your voice to heal yourself, to inspire yourself, and to uplift yourself, to shift things for yourself. And so maybe that's a message for all of us. How can I use my own voice to heal, inspire, and transform myself? And then once that's done, then maybe I can share that voice with the collective, with the public, maybe being my authentic self. Here's another take on that same message. The idea of authenticity invites authenticity. When you think about creating, when you think about sharing your voice, when you think about speaking about your beliefs, do you think about how do I do this in a palatable way? How do I do this in a way that people will understand? How do I do this in an acceptable way? How do I, if you're an artist or creative, how do I create something that will be received? How do I create something that people will like, something that people will applaud, something that people will smile at? Is that what you're thinking? Because Spirit didn't say that. Spirit said be authentic. Spirit said be yourself. Spirit didn't say share your voice, but share it in a way that's understood. Share it in a palatable way. Spirit didn't say that. Spirit said authenticity begets authenticity. Can you just be you and share you, regardless of if it is received the way you want it to be received? So I think that's the message too, when we think about sharing our voice. Okay, let's see, where are we at on time? I'm going to go to the one card reading. If you would like a one card reading, please put it over in chat. Just say pick me. I'll get to as many as I can, and then we'll wrap up here in a few moments with a quick energy activation. And I'm pretty sure the energy activation is going to be about, I'm waiting now. Spirit's going to give me the words. I have the feeling of it, but Spirit's going to give me the words. It's going to be about finding the magic where you are. It feels like, myself included, we're reaching for the magic. When I do this, then I will get the magic. When I get a little further on my journey, then I'll get to what everybody else is saying I'm supposed to get. Or then I'll experience what that person over there is experiencing. I see them doing it. I know it's possible. I want it too. And when I do these things, then I'll get it. Yeah, sure. But Spirit right now wants to activate within us the magic where we are. There is magic where you stand, in the mess, in the indecision, in the chaos, in the clutter, in the stuckness, in the lostness. There is still magic where you are. Can we activate that? All right, Tina, one card pull for Tina, 2 of Pentacles. You are trying to balance something when it comes to manifestations. And this is about, I'm seeing the card of the Ace of Wands in my head again, that open third eye, that fire activating that third eye. And so when I pull the 2 of Pentacles from you, not only am I getting the message that you are currently trying to balance the material and the spiritual, which is shown by her 2 purses, 1 spiritual purse, 1 physical purse. You're trying to balance that. And because Spirit showed me the Ace of Wands, the message for you is activate that third eye, call in that spiritual connection, because that's what's going to bring things back into balance for you. All right. Next up, iPhone. iPhone gets a 1 card, and you have the King of Wands, iPhone. Kings, we talked a little bit about what Queen energy is. King energy is action. And here we have action on action on action on action, because fire energy is also action. And so we have the King of Wands. Wands is fire energy. Wands is personal power, inspiration, creativity. Look at that lion. Confidence, movement, walking like you know you are the motherfucking king, because you are. I confidently act on the inspiration that I receive. I confidently act on the creativity. And I don't give two fucks about if the rest of the world likes my creative expression or not. I confidently express myself creatively because that's what the fuck I want to do. And so that's what I'm going to do. That's that King of Wands energy. Not really paying attention to what the world around you does, but standing in your supremacy, standing in your authority, standing in your sovereignty, and showing up as the inspirational, creative being that you are, with that confidence of the king of the jungle, with that confidence of the King of Wands. That's what's being called. iPhone called from you for this week. All right, let's see. I'm going to do Bonnie. Knight of Swords, you're being asked to move into action. Move into action on what? Swords, thinking brain, air energy, communication, all of those things, swords energy, conversations. That's what's coming up though. Communication, but conversations. There seems to be a conversation that needs to be had, and I feel like this is more of a spiritually focused conversation. So this might be a conversation with your spirit guides, a conversation with God, a conversation with your higher self, but a conversation. And the only other thing that I'm hearing is make sure it's a conversation. Make sure it's not I am submitting my demands to you, higher self. Make sure it's a conversation. Here's what I would like, higher self. How do we get there? So Knight of Swords, and then acting upon that. Acting upon whatever wisdom or insight is given through that conversation. All right, and then we're going to move on to Jacqueline. And then we'll move on to the close out with the activation. Jacqueline. Ooh, interesting. I have to shuffle again. Let's see what cards for Jacqueline. Inside information for Jacqueline for this week. What can Jacqueline focus on this week? There we go. When I asked that question, it came up. 9 of Cups, the wishes fulfilled card. It literally says that in the guidebook for this card from this deck, the wishes fulfilled card. I'm going to go to the deck to read this. I think you have this deck, but I'm not sure. But I'm going to read it. I'm going to read it for Jacqueline. I feel that this applies to the entire group, and that's why I'm reading it. Here's the key words. The universe is gifting you your desire, choosing joy, manifested dreams, gratitude, abundance. This is a card of abundance and happiness and is often fittingly called the wish card. What have you been wishing for? Allow yourself to experience how fulfilling this journey can be and fill your life with all the laughter and bliss needed to spur you into the next phase of your happiness. Take stock of all the feels that are surfacing and remember to practice gratitude for the manifestation of your dreams. The appearance of this card is an auspicious message of prosperity, harmony, and getting what you desire. What have you been working towards and coming to you? What you have been working towards is coming to you. So enjoy life's pleasures and sink into the awe and wonder of a joyous heart. And here's the affirmation. I open my grateful heart to the gifts that are coming my way. I open my grateful heart to the gifts that are coming my way. So that was for you specifically, Jacqueline. I feel like that one hit, but that was also for the group. That's why Spirit had me read the full meaning of that card. All right, let's activate some energy. Are y'all ready to activate some energy? Let's do this. This is not about being content. This is not about saying, this is where I stop. This is where I am limited to. I have to make peace with it. This is not about, when I say find the magic where you are, this is not saying you have to stop and you can't keep going on your journey towards more magic. But this is saying, unless you can find the magic where you are, how the hell do you think you're going to find it over there? So this is about finding the magic where we are so that we can relate to that, so that no matter where we are, chaos, lost, stuck, we can always find the magic again. So think about that. I invite you to close your eyes if that feels comfortable to you. We're going to do a little visualization. I want you to think of where you are in your life. Look down. You're standing on a path. What does that path look like? Don't make it up. Don't put flowers on it if you don't have flowers in your life right now. Don't make it a golden brick road if that is not what your life is like right now. Pull back all the layers of what you want it to look like and look at what it actually is. Is it rocks? Is it challenging? Is it broken? Maybe you look down and you don't even see a path. Maybe you just see a tornado swirling around you, chaos everywhere. Can't find the path for the life of you. Maybe it is a path. Maybe there is some light. Maybe there are some flowers. Whatever it is, make it the realest depiction that you can based upon where your life is right now. And now look at your shoes. Are you wearing shoes? Are you barefoot? What's going on there? And now come up a little bit more. What kind of clothing are you wearing? Hopefully you have clothing on as you are outdoors. And now just take all of that in. Now maybe look around you a little bit. What do you see? Maybe you see a path forward, opportunities. Maybe you're in nature. Maybe you see darkness, chaos. Maybe you see a wall in front of you or challenges. Just notice it. Now, in this moment, I want you to realize one thing as we start to look for the magic. I am here. I am allowed. I am alive. I have the mental capacity to be able to ascertain my position on my journey, even if it's not what I desire. And the mental capacity to be able to discern and think about and form beliefs and thoughts, that's pretty damn powerful. Maybe I don't have the answers, but at least I have a brain. And my brain tells me that if I use it, I might get to the answers. That feels magical. I think I'm going to put that tally mark in the magic column. When I look down, I see feet. When I look at my body, I see a body. I have use of my feet and this body in my metaphorical sense. As I visualize myself, I can visualize. That feels pretty magical. And I have a body, like I have a real body. I have a metaphorical, energetic body, but I have a real body too. I'm alive. That feels magical. I know some people that aren't alive right now. I feel pretty blessed to be alive right now. I feel pretty blessed to be breathing and to be able to find magic in that. I look at my path and maybe my path is not exactly what I want it to be, but damn it, there's a path. That feels magical. And if there's a path that I created, I'm pretty sure I can create something else. Sometimes I'm not sure how I create stuff. Sometimes it just shows up and I deal with the creation. But even being able to deal with the creation, that feels pretty magical. A lot of people can't. There's a lot of people incarcerated. There's a lot of people in mentalist institutions. There's a lot of people dealing with struggles and not surviving. I think I'm going to count this in my magical column too. I think there's a lot of magic here that I've been taking for granted. I think I'm just going to sit in this moment where I'm at on my path, where I'm at on my journey, lost, chaotic, found, wherever it is. And I think I'm just going to consider the fact that I'm still in the game, still on the journey. I think I'm going to put another tally mark in the magic column because this feels pretty damn magical. Just being here feels like magic. And when I can find the magic here, then I know I can find the magic anywhere. Take a deep breath in and let that settle into your bones. And I want you to carry that with you throughout the week. I can find the magic anywhere. If I'm not seeing the magic, it's time for me to pause and find it because it's here and I'm just not seeing it. All right. Activated. Thank you all so much. We went just a little bit over time. I apologize for that. But thank you all so much. I hope you all enjoyed today's reading, found some guidance, insight, support. Please look for the email that's going to come out a little bit later today, and I will see you all back here next Monday. Thanks, everyone. Goodbye.